Well, Cyclone Remal is expected to make landfall any moment after the evening, and this is of course something that the IMD has warned about. Now the winds are getting stronger, the sea is of course rough at this point, and because it's a low tide the sea has gone out, but otherwise it is of course going to have winds gusting to about 135 kilometers per hour and winds between 110 kilometers per hour to 120 kilometers per hour. Now at this point though, the cyclone of course will make landfall this evening, and very strong winds here at this point, as we stand here on the beach of Bakkhali, which has been cleared of tourists and others because of safety issues during the cyclone. At this point, very strong winds also here in the beach, and this is of course in connection with Cyclone Remal, which is expected to hit the coast of West Bengal between the Sagar Islands and the India-Bangladesh border this evening. Like I said, strong winds, railway services to these areas have been withdrawn. Also what we know is that flight services have been stopped, and also as we know port services have been stopped, and all of this of course is taking place as the rains also pick up and the winds also pick up here as the cyclone will make landfall in the evening. With camera person Aniruddha Tripathi at Bakkhali, Saurabh Gupta, NDTV.
Saurabh Gupta is now joining us live. So Saurabh, we just saw your ground report there. Strong winds expected, strong winds already. In fact, are there evacuations also from low-lying areas? What is the Met Department saying? What all areas will be impacted the most?
Well, where I'm standing is one of the areas through which the cyclone, of course, is likely to the effects of the cyclone. And, the cyclone, of course, has its eye, and then, of course, there are storms around it, and it's circular in shape. And therefore, what we will see, perhaps the periphery of the cyclone, pass through these areas, because it's going to make landfall between the Sagar Islands and also Bangladesh, a place in Bangladesh, and this will most largely impact the Sundarbans area. And of course, Bakkhali is one of the is perhaps the southernmost tip of West Bengal. And here too, the beaches have been cleared, rough seas. It comes in, breaks in between, and then of course the storm picks up again. So right now there's a little bit of a lull, and again it picks up very strongly with very strong winds. And the report you saw just a short while ago was when there were those strong winds. And when it makes landfall, of course, it's going to have very, very strong winds hit these areas. Like I said, flight services at Kolkata Airport have been suspended. Port operations at the Syamaprasad Mukherjee port in Kolkata have been suspended. No cargo handling, no barge movement. We've also seen local train services in these areas suspended. And also people have been asked to stay indoors, not move around when that cyclone makes landfall, which should be a few hours from now. And therefore, what we know is that a lot of precautions by, setting up cyclone shelters. In fact, we have those pictures also. Some of the candidates who were supposed to campaign, because remember this seat also votes in the first phase, and let's not forget there's an election also. Some of the candidates who were supposed to campaign today in these areas have called up their campaigns. They've been some of the candidates have been visiting relief camps, cyclone relief shelters that have been set up to meet people there, because again, what better way to campaign when, of course, there is the threat of a cyclone. But strong winds with gusts in between. Sometimes there is, of course, a lull. It's been raining continuously since the time we arrived here in the morning, and of course it's very difficult to keep even the doors open, because from the other side there are very strong winds that are coming in. And therefore, landfall should happen sometime, post the evening, and therefore authorities are bracing for it, because if there are wind speeds of 110 to 120 kilometers per hour, gusting at 135 kilometers per hour, they expect some damage also on the ground.